Welcome back to the derailing of LeBron's excuse train 2024. You got a whole nother set of freight cars full of excuses for every year for this guy. But moving on to the players, I'm starting with Torian Prince for a couple of reasons. He was already on my mind because when he's on the floor, I think he looks pretty good. But there's another reason. It's LeBron's reference to the in-season tournament. Torian Prince was a starter in the in-season tournament. By the time the playoffs came around, they'd added Dinwiddie and had Gabe Vincent back. They were so loaded that a guy that they won the in-season tournament with was coming off the bench. That's the type of roster LeBron James is complaining about. And if anyone wants to discredit Torian Prince as not being a great player, well, LeBron James kind of screwed that up because he says, hey, look what we were capable of doing in this in-season tournament. Well, you're looking at the lineup that you used to accomplish that with. So don't say that you weren't whole. Don't talk about what you had to deal with. They added Dinwiddie February 10th, by the way. They've had plenty of time to get to know each other. Torian Prince, I saw him several times this year just show his ability to score when he wants to. He's an efficient scorer. And every now and then, when he was allowed to, he went off. And if people think that Torian Prince isn't capable of certain things, just go back to his time in the league prior to LeBron James. You know, I'm seeing him scoring 38 points multiple times, 35 points. He even had a game of historic significance in terms of efficiency. 35 points on just 13 shots and 4 free throws. What did I say earlier, that he's efficient? Well, there you go. LeBron's point to minute ratio is boosted by all the free throws that he gets, whether he deserves to go to the free throw line or not. So he already has an advantage in that category. But if we go through the Lakers season and you look at how few minutes Torian Prince got compared to the minutes that LeBron got, Torian Prince actually outperforms LeBron James in terms of efficiency throughout the season. I guess we did eventually see something that Torian Prince could do for LeBron James. Take the blame for LeBron dribbling the ball off of his knee out of bounds. Do you know how hard it was for me to find any article that talked about that? It's crazy how LeBron escapes blame. That's what you're here for, Torian. Let's move on to DAngelo Russell. LeBron fans are very focused on points, so let me bring up that DAngelo Russell has scored 52 points in his career. And I see that he's scored 44 multiple times, 40 multiple times, 39 multiple times, 38, 37. He has scored 30 points 46 times so far in his career. Okay, and you're like, well, so what? Well, are we comparing talent of the Nuggets roster to talent of the Los Angeles Lakers roster? Because a guy on the Nuggets who is a hero hasn't even accomplished what a guy who's being called crap on the Lakers has accomplished. That's probably worth marinating. Jamal Murray hasn't cracked the 40-point zone in all of 2024 and only did it once in 2023. Again, D'Lo outperforming Jamal Murray. The goal isn't to rip on Jamal Murray, it's to provide a heat check for everybody jumping on the bandwagon that DAngelo Russell is garbage. We can see throughout history, myself and others have done videos on this, that when people come and play with LeBron James, their point production immediately takes a dip because they all have to change what they normally do in order to support LeBron James. So D'Lo's high-scoring games were not as frequent once he came to the Lakers, but he still got some. So let's not pretend like he wasn't still capable of it. In fact, he had a 34-point game January 21st of 2024 and a 44-point game March 8th of 2024. A 39-point game January 13th, 2024. a 35-point game in November of 2023. But let's take this further than whether or not he's just capable of it. Remember, I talked about Torian Prince's efficiency. If we look at the January 21st, 2024 34-point game, and we look side by side at LeBron James's production for that game, James, as I mentioned before, had the luxury of buffering his point total with free throws. He shot 9 for 10 from the free throw line. DAngelo Russell shot 0 free throws. DAngelo Russell played 34 minutes and had 34 points. LeBron James played 31 minutes, had only 28 points, fewer points than minutes, adding an extra 9 points to that via free throws, which doesn't really count in terms of minutes because the clock isn't running while you're shooting free throws. So all those free throw points are a bonus. DAngelo Russell outperformed LeBron James significantly. I mentioned that he had a 44-point game in recent history. Guess how that was possible? Think about it. What do you think was different that made it possible for DAngelo Russell to shine? That's right. LeBron James wasn't in the way. LeBron James was ducking Giannis as he did like the entire year, every Bucks game. So without LeBron James there messing up the flow, D'Lo scores 44. Why isn't that worth talking about? Why doesn't an analyst, a sports analyst, a professional analyst who's supposed to be thinking critically about these exact types of things dig deeper into why D'Lo is able to do so well when LeBron isn't on the floor? You know what else happened that night? Which reminds me of the comparison to the Nuggets. They shared the wealth. This was a total team effort. We have Anthony Davis with 22 points, which is quite low for him normally. But unlike when LeBron plays, Anthony Davis didn't have to carry the burden. 22 points was enough when you had other people contributing, which again is what they say was so great about the Nuggets, other people contributing. Well, who prevents other people from contributing? The guy who hogs the ball, plays all these minutes, and has a low efficiency. Hachimura had 12 points. Reeves had 18 points. Now, the rest of these numbers are low, but think about how many there are. Dinwiddie had 5. Prince had 8. Reddish had 6. Hayes had 8. I mean, we're talking about all the players contributing because they were able to contribute. The very thing that you're saying the Nuggets had the advantage with, the Lakers only didn't have that advantage because of LeBron James. All you have to do is look at the games that LeBron didn't play and see that the bench can contribute. All those analysts who said that the Nuggets bench was the difference, all those analysts who said that the Nuggets had more talent, need to be fired. It's crazily untrue. In fact, I watched the first round of the Nuggets and T-Wolves before I finished editing this, and my God, was it evident. It was evident during the Lakers-Nuggets series, but the Nuggets won anyway. But now that the Nuggets are facing the T-Wolves, I've heard some analysts say, yeah, the Nuggets bench isn't very good. My, how quickly things change. Just when you thought I couldn't crap on LeBron anymore, let's go back to his excuse during the press conference, referring back to the in-season tournament. Well, look at the lineup that was used in order to beat the Bucks. Jared Vanderbilt is already out of the lineup. Cam Reddish has fallen out of the starting lineup. Spencer Dinwiddie has been entered into the starting lineup. Everyone that you had as a significant player in the playoffs, you had at this point in time, March 9th, 2024. And they showed that they already had cohesion. LeBron James, you are the only thing that prevents cohesion. There's a pattern here. I feel like I'm going to be able to do this with most of the Lakers roster, but let's look at Austin Reeves really quick. In both of Austin Reeves' top performing games, LeBron James sat out. Remember when LeBron James didn't want to play the Celtics, dodged the Celtics, and the Lakers actually beat them? The number one team in the East, number one record in the entire NBA, actually. And that Lakers team was able to beat those guys with LeBron getting out of the way. (3/19/23), Reeves, 35 points in a win. No LeBron. February 1st, 2024. No LeBron. Lakers win. Austin Reeves, 32 points. Rewind to 2023. Austin Reeves' 35-point night. No LeBron James. Lakers win over the Magic. In case I'm being too subtle, let me make sure you understand that not only is he having big performing nights, he's doing it in wins, which means he's scoring the right way. Far too often, LeBron's big nights come in losses. Of course, I found this when I'd already done the other work, but did you know this page existed on StatMuse, showing how the players did throughout the season when LeBron was playing versus when LeBron wasn't playing? In every single case, their point production was better with LeBron out. Now, let's look at this from several arguments. You might say, well, of course, he's out. They had to score more. On the other hand, everybody says that LeBron makes his teammates better. Well, not according to this. And to that same argument, and I said it many times when everybody was ripping on the bench, not producing, how can the bench produce when LeBron James is taking all the shots? When LeBron James is holding the ball? They're showing you time and time again what they can do when LeBron isn't there. At some point, you just have to stop lying to yourselves. Generally speaking, regarding the roster and all these people that said that the Nuggets roster simply was more talented, they had a better roster, I need them to go into specifics. I need them to back that up, because these people like to make statements on TV as though they are facts. And most of the people that are eager to hear excuses for LeBron James will accept those opinions as facts. But if we go player by player down that roster, I really don't think it ends up being true. Those exact same people saying that the Nuggets have a better roster, I don't remember them ever singing the praises of Reggie Jackson prior to the time when they needed to make excuses for LeBron James. Most of this Denver Nuggets roster, as I'm scrolling through, I'm like, who in the hell is this? Jay Huff, Vladko Kankar, Zeke Naji. I guess he got in. I think I saw him play once. Even Jalen Pickett barely played. Colin Gillespie, really? Braxton Key. So maybe this is on me, but I don't remember people talking about Peyton Watson until it came time to make excuses for LeBron James. Suddenly Peyton Watson was called an elite defender. I guess Christian Brown is all that. I mean, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But when the Lakers are faced with building their roster, is that really who you would have chosen? Is that really who you would have added to your roster at the beginning of the season? Or are you only saying that now because you need to, in broad terms, say that the Nuggets are more talented? You know, we've got KCP and DeAndre Jordan, who are both castaways from LeBron James, people that weren't good enough to be on LeBron James's team. But now that they're on the Nuggets, they're an elite team, a more talented team. I mean, KCP didn't actually play that well in that series. He had some moments. Speaking of not performing well, Jamal Murray's numbers were terrible, percentage-wise. Obviously, he makes big buckets at big times, which makes me think about LeBron James, because LeBron James fans will happily say, look what LeBron did earlier in the game. When LeBron James shits the bed in the fourth, as he usually does, they'll be like, well, look at his point production early in the game. Well, now Jamal Murray, who shoots poorly most of the game but has a couple of big buckets, is an elite player because of those points at the end of the game. So which is it? Do we hold clutch shots in high regard or not? Because when we criticize LeBron James for not being able to perform in those moments, suddenly they want to look at overall point production earlier in the game. Murray certainly looked off on many occasions. I remember screaming, but a lot of the time he looked like he was getting hounded, like he couldn't find the open shot to take. And I don't know why no one is crediting the guys that were covering Murray for that. Instead, they're all getting thrown under the bus. So then we come to Jokic. And yes, Jokic is fantastic. And we pair him up against Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis did a great job. He worked hard. By far and large, Jokic was able to get the ball to other people when AD was actually shutting him down. But we don't hear about that. We don't hear about the failure of LeBron James to shut down Nuggets players when Jokic was forced to pass the ball away. No, we only hear about Anthony Davis having low point production in fourth periods. That's the only thing they want to talk about. When you can analyze the game and understand exactly why that happened. AD didn't just disappear. The game changed. Well, I think you get it by now, but just to drive the point home, let's do an exercise together. When Rui Hachimura had his big 30-point night on April 7th against the Timberwolves, what do you think happened that night? That's right, LeBron James was ducking Anthony Edwards. And once again, another Laker was able to show what that Laker was capable of without LeBron in the way. All right, well, let me know what you thought about this deeper look at the talentless Los Angeles Lakers that LeBron James had to deal with. See you on the next one. Remember to like and subscribe.